Hello, BookTube! Great to see you again. Um, in my last Reset Wednesday video, I mentioned that there might not be a video on the next Wednesday, and that was yesterday. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. But at least I warned you in advance. So anyway, sorry for not posting anything yesterday, but today I have quite a lot of time. So I thought it might be a good idea to make a tag video today. So I've been tagged in quite many of tags in the past few weeks, and yeah, haven't had time to make my response for my versions of the tag. So yeah, let's catch up with those, right? So the tag for today is called the Hindsight is 2020 reader tag, and this was originally created by Erin Go Read, and I was tagged by Luke at Luke's Room. And I will leave links to both of those channels down below, so go check them out. And yeah, and why I chose to do this particular tag is that I noticed I've gained something like a dozen new subscribers, which is great. And yeah, like I've always said that I don't want this channel to grow too big, and I still stand by my words. I'm totally fine with being like 100 and 200 subscribers. And yeah, but I always appreciate new subscribers. It's the more the merrier, right? Anyway, let's get on with yeah, still one more thing. And why this particular tag is that this is kind of tag that sort of introduces you as a reader. So it might be a good idea to sort of reintroduce myself as a reader, and so that these new subscribers, that you new subscribers will also learn more about me. Yeah. All right. Let's get started finally, right? Question number 1. What were you like as an early and learning reader? And as an early reader, I was pretty much just drawn to pictures and good cover art and stuff like that. And I was also a very adventurous reader. I think that's also very typical, about child readers. Yeah, so I had no sort of opinions on like what is good literature, what is bad literature, and what is genre I don't like. I was very much into reading whatever caught my interest, and I started reading whatever there was available to me, as long as it had some pictures, of course. For example, some basic info books about pirates and pyramids and whatever there was, ships, Star Wars, all kinds of weird books. And after that, as I grew up, I pictures were no longer that important. It was mainly about plot and entertainment, and yeah, I went for books for that reason, to be entertained. And then as I grew up even more, and around the time when I entered university, I became more of a disciplined reader. So it wasn't reading for entertainment that much. It was more about getting something out of books. So sort of more analytical way of literature, I would say. My focus shifted from plot and entertainment to stuff like handling of themes and character development and context and just the quality of writing as well. So yeah, that's how I sort of have developed as a reader. And right now, I guess I am in this new state of metamorphosis, I would say, where I'm sort of trying to engage that part of my development where I had that childlike enthusiasm and curiosity about literature. So trying to get rid of my, or trying to get rid of what you might call, snobbish qualities about reading, and try to sort of turn off that analytical part in me, and just enjoy reading. That's what I would like to sort of relearn. Yeah. Right. Question number 2. What book or book series really got you excited about reading as a kid? And I guess I'm going to give you a long answer, as part of my plan to reintroduce myself. So, basically, my first memory about me getting excited about some book comes from my first class my first year at school. And so yeah, I was about 7 years old at the time, and we had this great teacher who sort of rewarded our reading, and that was sort of something optional that you didn't have to do, but you could do, some reading for some kind of extra rewards, for example, stickers. So, and one of the books I read for that kind of thing was Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. And yeah, or Hassut hurjat hirviöt in Finnish. And this had pretty much everything that, a young child like me could really want during that time. As, a young boy who dresses in a wolf suit, how cool is that? And then he gets in some kind of island where there are some monsters. They have lots of fun. It's a bit scary as well. It was at the time, at least. Yeah, that was anything I could want from a book to spark my imagination. Oh yeah, and here's some more pictures. There's a boy, Max, in his wolf suit. Oops. Here's a still from the film adaptation by Spike Jonze. I don't know how to say his name. Spike Jonze, let's say it that way. So yeah. And so yeah, and that book I would say is responsible for starting my literary or reading journey. So yeah, let the wild rumpus start, right? And after that, I was really into Donald Duck books and comic books, stuff like this. Aquanka, Donald Duck. Yeah, I devoured those comic books. Lots of interesting stories. And what's good about them is that, of course, they have pictures, lots of pictures, and of course you have some text as well, so you can sort of, that facilitates your learning, I would say, when you sort of start to think about what's being said and sort of try to figure out the meanings from the context of the pictures and so on. So if I encounter a new word, I would still be able to sort of figure out its meaning from the pictures. So they were really exciting and important for me. And then when I was around 11 or 12, I think, I discovered Animorphs. And I can't for the life of me describe what the book series was about. I think there was some kind of alien race that was trying to take control of Earth, and a group of humans had these abilities to transform into animals, and they fought back these invaders or something like that. But the main thing for me was that I was hugely fascinated by the idea of transformation, and of course animals. Animals are amazing. So animals, showing you. Huh? Come on. Technical difficulties, right? More covers. Yeah. Really exciting stuff for young Jere. And after those, in my sort of early teens, around 13 to 15 years, I was pretty much a fantasy reader. And I would like to show you 3 trilogies that were really sort of important for me at the time. They really sort of got me going and made me more excited about discovering more what literature has to offer. The first trilogy is by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. That is Dragonlance Chronicles. And this is first book in the trilogy. Dragons of Autumn Twilight in English, I think. So, book number 1, book number 2, and book number 3. Then a trilogy in Forgotten Realms series, and this is by R.A. Salvatore, Homeland, or Kotima in Finnish, number 1. Yes, the right one. Book number 2, and the book that I dropped, the third one. Oh yeah, of course, it really helped that the cover had a very cool looking cat. Yep, those were very influential, and I think I have mentioned at some point that I really liked stories about knights, and David Eddings sort of provided them with his Elenium trilogy. We have Diamond Throne, sequel and the third one in the trilogy. So David Eddings with this trilogy was also hugely important. I haven't read anything else by him, and I have actually, but that was so bad, such piece of crap that I sort of tried to erase that memory. So yeah, I don't think I would enjoy reading his books that much these days. So part of me is very sort of hesitant to even reread this trilogy at some point in the future, because yeah, I might discover how very basic and mediocre Eddings is as a writer. But yeah, my memory of reading the trilogy is still very, very nice. Good stuff. And of course, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series was part of my reading at that time as well. I can't deny its influence and importance in my reading journey. So yeah, fantasy books like that were really, well, they were really important for me, and still I see myself as a fantasy reader, even though I read a lot of classics and literary fiction and some non-fiction and stuff like that these days. In my core, I am very much a fantasy reader. Right. I guess that was a bit of a tangent from what I was supposed to answer, but yeah, reintroducing myself, Question number 3. Has there been a person in your life, real or fictional, who inspired you to be a reader? And unfortunately, I can't thank any one single person, because a lot of people have contributed in some minor way, but I haven't had any one person above other. Like the teacher I had my first year at school, who had that great rewarding system. I must thank her for sort of having that reward system and sort of making me discover where the wild things are, and in that way sort of launching my reading journey. And then I have to say, this is a fictional one, movie Matilda. This young girl sort of it's a very literary girl, and she reads lots of books, and I saw a lot of myself in her, and yeah, just seeing that movie made me want to become a reader as well. Yeah, because it showed how much good things reading can bring to your life, I guess. And then I must thank my mom for example, for the reason that she was the one who bought me those fantasy books that I just showed you. Even though she has showed very little to no interest at all in my reading since then, she really doesn't give a damn. And then I have to thank my Finnish teacher when I was around 13 to 15. She made me look books in a more analytical way, but also she really encouraged me, by praising my stories, like my writing and my awful childish stories read aloud in front of the class. And yeah, that was huge in a way. That's very encouraging. But the thing that I want to thank her for is that ever since then I have always sort of thought of writing and reading sort of being somehow closer together. That when I'm reading, I'm thinking of books in terms of how they were written and what could I take from these books to my stories. And when I'm writing, I'm perhaps more conscious of all the tweaks and stuff that other writers have used. And yeah, I hope you got what I meant. I didn't explain myself very well there. And then the final person that I need to thank is my one of my teachers at the university. I was doing comparative literature. We had a course on poetry, and that teacher really sort of opened my eyes, so to say, to this whole new genre of literature that I hadn't sort of paid that much attention to before. So she made me see that there can be lots of things in poems, beneath the surface. And yeah, that's it, I guess. So I can, like I said, I can't thank just one one person, because yeah, many people have contributed to my reading journey in some minor way. Seem to be losing my voice. Question number 4. At what point did you begin to identify as a reader? And yeah, it didn't happen exactly in the childhood. It happened a bit later in my early teens, and how it happened is that I started to notice that other people around me were a bit different from me. And the thing that sort of differentiated me from them was the fact that they didn't read and I read. So since then I have sort of thought, I read books, other people don't. I am a reader. I guess that's how I come to identify as a reader. And question number 5. How has being a reader shaped your life and worldview? Well, there are lots of things. First of all, reading has helped me set my imagination on fire. Like, yeah. I'm struggling to explain myself, but I hope that kind of explains itself. Yeah. Help with my imagination, let's put it that way. And then it helped me to learn languages, of course. My first language, Finnish. I must say I've gained much better control of my own language through reading. And then I learned English mostly through reading. And yeah, so reading has really sort of opened my life to sort of a bigger world. And then perhaps the most important thing is that books and reading saved me from loneliness. Like when I was around 10 or 11, we moved into middle of nowhere. We lived basically in a forest area and very rural place, like 17 kilometers to the nearest shop, and no friends nearby, and yeah, you kind of had to invent your own fun and stuff like that. But the thing that hit the most was that there were no friends around, well, other than my brother, and then of course parents, or actually just my mom at the time. Yeah. So I started to sort of need something more, and when other people sort of spend time with their friends, I spend time with books, I would say. And the cliche is very much true that books sort of became my most trustworthy friends. They were always there when I needed them. And yeah, and later in life, books brought me new friendships, because as I was, sort of identifying as a reader, I started to pick friends with other readers, and it's like-minded people. So it brought something good, and well, in short, I guess I could say that I wouldn't be here right now. Well, here on BookTube, let's not be too dramatic. If I didn't have books, if I hadn't had books in my life, yeah, I wouldn't be here on BookTube. And here I would like to say again that starting my own channel on BookTube was one of the best decisions in my life. It's already brought me so many new friends and relationships, and I can't even think of my life without some of these people. So it's really a huge deal. So yeah, that's that. And finally, question number 6. Sorry. Tag someone whose reading history you want to learn more about. And there's so many people I could tag, but yeah, I want to tag 2 people. The question says tag someone, so only one person, but I want to tag 2 people. I want to tag Reija at the Bookfinch. First of all, because she's also a Finnish booktuber, and I sort of want to, I guess, find out how her reading journey has been different from mine. So 2 Finnish people, how they sort of went, where their paths sort of cross and where they sort of go other ways. Yeah, I think that would be interesting to find out. And then the other person I would like to tag is Jeremy Fee. He's a very cool guy, and he makes these very good review videos. And I must say, I don't always watch the review videos because I either haven't read the book or no interest in reading the book. But whenever, well, the ones that I watch, they are always excellent, and you can really tell from his videos that Jeremy is a sort of passionate and lifelong reader who really knows his stuff. And I tried to check his channel for this tag and of newbie tag and stuff like that, and I couldn't find them. So if you have actually done this, then don't do this. But I would really like to learn about your reading history and reading journey. So if you too want to do this tag, then please do it. But if you don't feel like doing this, then that's all right as well. I won't get hurt. Yeah, and that's all for this time. I can't promise you when I will be posting my next video. Hopefully in the weekend. If not then at least around next Wednesday. I can promise you that much. But yeah, that's all for this time. Back to my bookie activities, and see you soon.